I just saw Alvarez's shot off the left field wall. If we had that wall in Mexico, we would never have a problem again. How you doing, everybody? Happy Thursday to you all. It looks like the Mets may actually sweep a team that is not a minor league team. Hope you're all doing well. Couple of tidbits for you. Number one, why is Ewing playing left field sometimes, and why hasn't Robert moved from center field? Robert has never played left or right field in a major league game, I believe. And the Mets are trying to nurse his health and don't want him to get hurt. Found that out today. That's why Robert only plays center. Yeah, Alvarez, look. You know, if you tell me Simeon had a good day, I know the Mets had a win because that means that everyone else scored. It's nice to see Marcus Simeon have a good day now and then. He was, a terrific veteran. So, how you doing, everybody? Hope you're doing well. William, I absolutely love the meme you made, or whatever it's called, of me. I think that's great. And in fact, I am going to use that in one of my music shows because you are a talented dude, my friend. Had a couple of other things to say. But, I am 64. I'll be 65 next Friday, and I feel like it. 10-5. It was nice to see Lindor crank one in his old haunting ground. And look, I'm going to say sarcastically, we did what we're supposed to do. We're not supposed to do this. We're one of the worst teams in the league. We're not supposed to go into Cleveland. And we haven't won this game yet. As they said in Pulp Fiction, let's not suck each other's yet. The game's not over. I've seen disasters happen with this team, but not bad. Shout out to my friend Wes, who met me for coffee today. We had a great time. In fact, I had to annoy him with a trip on the LIE, which 7 miles or 9 miles took 45 minutes. I left my computer, my laptop, when I was teaching yesterday at the school. So I had to go pick it up. I needed it. And thank you, Wes. I appreciate it. But we got a chance to bullshit in the car and talk Mets. He had mentioned something interesting. When Stanton comes back with Judge and Bellinger, who's going to be sent down from the Yankees? Good question. I don't have the answer, but I thought I'd put it out there for you guys. This is unbelievable. We're going to get to Senga. We're going to get to my dancing 3 in a row, hopefully. And we're going to get to Lavender, who has been outstanding. Now, Lavender was outstanding 2 years ago in Met Camp. And he was a Rule 5 guy from Tampa, had to go for Tommy John. He impressed the hell out of everyone in training camp. So we'll see what happens here. But you look at this Met team, and you watch games like this, and you see the kids. And that's why I put it in the title. And the sky's the limit, depending on how good they actually become. Now, look, Brett Beatty, a friend of mine, told me today, yeah, but look at Brett Beatty, and look at Vientos. Yeah, Vientos had that really hot series in Philly and all that. But I don't think Beatty or Vientos, although Vientos had a really good year, or Alvarez, who at 25, ever looked as promising as these two right out from Jump Street. I think Benj and Ewing look much better than they did when they first came up, the first wave of kids. Yeah, well, McClain, he's still learning. He hasn't thrown 35 starts in the major leagues. I'm not sure, Andrew. They just told me Clayton McCulloch Maybe he's going to leave there. But he had said Clayton McCulloch, unless I got the name wrong, but I don't believe so. I will call him and ask him, though. I will ask him. Thank you for pointing that out. I'm going to email him right now. That was the conversation about Clayton McCulloch. No. And speaking of double, and here he is. Oh, he said, Vin, I mentioned McCulloch because someone that they look at like McCulloch is Danny Lehman. Danny Lehman is bench coach and from the Dodger organization. He got promoted 3 years ago. And he's game planning and communications coach. Yeah, thank you for pointing that out. My goodness, I didn't know. Yeah, he said Clayton McCulloch. I wrote the name down here yesterday. Clayton McCulloch skipped Schumacher that he told me. But he said no, he mentioned that the Mets would have been on top of him and actually spoke to him. But it's Danny Lehman. Thank you so much. That's why I need you on here, you see. Thank you, my friend. No, I guess he's still with the Marlins organization, but he said no, he mentioned him and said that was the kind of guy they were looking for. They actually interviewed him. They may have interviewed him before he went to the Marlins, if he's still the Marlins manager. I don't know if he is. But I wrote down Clayton McCulloch because that's what he had told me yesterday or the day before. Thank you. So Danny Lehman is the guy that is well thought of, like Clayton McCulloch. So thank you for pointing that out. I really appreciate it. I know, Andrew. Look, McLean is he's learning. He's learning on the job. You know, the ball looks like it's popping out of here. Cleveland doesn't have any power. The Mets are showing some power. Luis Torrens looks like Gary Sanchez from 10 years ago now. I bet you there are some scouts watching this saying we should have gone for Torrens. So we have Torrens up now. He's had some series. Maybe Torrens will hit 235 this year. He's hitting 234. He's raised his OPS about 40 points the last 4 games. He's at 656, which is still terrible. But look, 656 OPS with Gold Glove caliber defense is 750. I love Sands this series. I love that wording. That is great vernacular. Trolls, in case you're watching, vernacular means vocabulary. Yeah. Sands is a word that Colby was my dog that died. My God. That Wardy would use. Wardy's favorite word is said. Said series, said player, said God bless him. I love Wardy. Wardy's the kind of kid you'd be very proud if he was a family member. He's just a good dude. And he's not a kid. He's got a family and everything. I like what he does. I truly do. I think he's very talented. And I would not be surprised if I saw Wardy 5 years ago. 5 years ago. I don't know what I'm talking about. 5 years from now, maybe doing a Nelson Figueroa on Sport SNY or something, or Todd Zeal. Wouldn't be surprised. Probably too young. I think they're pretty conservative, the Wilpons. SNY, that's their chance. I don't think they'd have a 25-year-old on there. Well, that's pretty good Master of English. Said series, Sands, this series. That's pretty good English. I went to NYU grad, and I got to tell you, my English professor, I didn't major in English, as you can tell. my English professor would be doing fucking cartwheels under the grave if he saw how I spoke. Because I actually do have a good vocabulary when I want to. This is him again. Sorry if I confused you with Clayton McCullough. No, you didn't. It was my error. So Lehman is the guy that they're looking at. They were talking about Jeffrey Young's celebration. My goodness, that's what we have to talk about now. How our. Oh, you should, Andrew. There's nothing wrong with that. You're allowed. What just happened? Ewing looks like it was an assassination attempt. He's down on the ground. What happened to him? 2-2, 12-5 the Mets. And struck him out. That's a tough left-hander. 1 out, bases loaded. There's Frankie Lindor. Can he go yard and have a 2-homer, 7 RBI game? That would be, you see, this is exactly why you can't go by, you have to watch series. Because Francisco Lindor has struck out 8 times. First time he's done that in 3 or 4 years, right, in a series. But meanwhile, if he hits a grand slam now, he had 2 homers and 7 RBIs in the series. In a 3-game series. And you say, like, wow, what a series, right? You have to remember, today's 250 was yesterday's 287. Mathematically, that's the formula. So when you see a 250 hitter, that was a 285 hitter 8 years ago. But a shout out to all my friends. You know, you look at baseball differently when your team's not doing well. You do. Maybe it's wishful thinking. Maybe it's because we take over our mind, which I told you about with life and health coaching pattern disruption, where if you interrupt the pattern of being miserable about every loss, hey, D-Wave, you get past it. So we're looking now at Senga and we're looking at bright spots. And I will tell you something. I don't know about you. Senga looks pretty confident. And it's amazing what a couple of real good outings will do for you. Maybe they have found a spot for him. And I have to tell you, I wouldn't be releasing Senga now after seeing what he's done in 2 games because his arm is live. And he doesn't have to worry about spacing it out. He doesn't have to worry about conserving pitches. He could just go out there and throw 25 or 30, and then he knowing he's not coming back in 2 or 3 days. Well, you're 3 days if it's 30 pitches. All right. Lindor strikes out on a tough pitch. And he smiles and hits the catches, chest protector. See, I have no problem with that. I have no problem with that. Catcher might have said something to him. Gotcha. This time, Francisco, and he just laughed and did that. You don't know what the catcher said. Bichette's up. 96. This lefty Heron has a good arm. This is the game. Well, the game should be gone anyway, but, you get a hit here, the game's over. 0-2. So, absolutely. Well, look at Dennis Eckersley. Dennis Eckersley was a starter with Cleveland. Well, he found an AA meeting. That helped Dennis Eckersley. The problem is not a problem. When you have an arm like Kodai Senga, when you got a guy throwing 99 and has a ghost fork like that, tough to find arms like that. I want Bichette to stay too. I believe Bichette will have a monster year next year. 23 and 100. I still have a bet. I took, I think, 3 or 4 to 1 for $100 that Bichette was going to get 275 by the end of this year. I think it was 273 and a half. He's going to hit 275. I totally believe Bichette will hit 275. Rick Aguilera, yeah. Well, Rick Aguilera was a reliever, became a starter, then went back. I remember in '86, he used to come in to shout. Rick Aguilera, very nice guy. I think he was a Mormon, actually. He didn't drink, smoke, he did nothing. They might have just joked around and said he was a Mormon, but he didn't party at all. Rick Aguilera used to have pineapple juice mixed with seltzer at Shout. Back in '85, '86, Shout, an Absolute and Cranberry was $3.25. Absolute was the big new vodka on the scene in the mid-'80s. A beer was $1.25 a bottle, and Heineken was $1.75. That's going to be a hit. Boy, is that a cheap RBI from Bichette. See, I never understood now. It's probably instinct because I don't remember. I played ball in high school. Why you would make that throw from third base. Because if the first baseman comes off the line and bobbles it at all, the guy that just went to third could actually come home. You know, why would you ever think you can get a runner? If the guy was in a wheelchair from first, he'd be out by a step. Why would you make that throw? All right, 13-5. And the Mets have scored their runs for the week. They're playing Pittsburgh. You know Weaver's going to save one of the games. They go into Pittsburgh. Now, tomorrow night, everyone, I am going out. Yeah, believe it or not, I have a life. I am going to see Jeff Dunham and Iglesias. Concert's probably over 10. I won't be on until probably 11:30 tomorrow night. So my post game is going to be 3 hours past the post game. But I hope you come in anyway because we'll have a lot to talk about, hopefully. Rick Aguilera became one of the best relievers in baseball. Minnesota. Austin Hedges, the catcher, comes in. Cleveland has a big series coming up. They don't want to use any more relievers. Again, Mets are playing loose. It's amazing when there's no pressure on you. How you play, right? It's incredible. But we'll see what happens. I still am a firm believer that the Mets won't be 25 under 500 this year. I think the Mets could win 74 games. It depends. You got to remember, in September, you see a lot of AAA players, a lot of pitching. And the Mets still, if they have Soto back, I don't think Soto's coming back, but if Soto comes back, Lindor. Oh, Andrew, I don't think they're going to lose 100. The worst that they'll lose, 93. Team has too much talent to lose 100. You're still looking at a team that has two terrific pitchers out of the five, and one is doing well out of the five starters. You don't know. Usually bullpens, when they fail after longevity, after an extended look. So you would think for a month, these pitchers will look good because no one's seen them. You have to remember, no one has seen these relievers. No one has seen Lavender, Jan, all these guys. So until there's a book out on them and video, which will take a month, the Mets are going to be okay with them. And then in September, the Mets are facing a lot of lineups that are minor league lineups. You have a lot of minor leaguers coming in. Teams have already clinched the playoff spot. They know where they are. They're not going to go crazy against the Mets. and you're going to steal a couple of games that you probably wouldn't have thought you'd win. That just goes to show you, Andrew, any team can lose 6 in a row. In fact, the best teams in baseball, the worst teams in baseball win 5 in a row during the season. I don't have it in front of me, but if you go back to when the White Sox lost 120 a couple of years, I bet you they won 3 or 4 in a row at one point. Well, the Dodgers are a team that are just waiting for the playoffs. Dodgers, they're waiting for the playoffs. Five guys in the Dodgers AA system would probably be starters on the Mets. But it should be interesting. Yeah, Aguilera was good. When he came in '86, when he used to come in to shout, he was young, probably 24. He had good stuff. Very nice guy, very quiet guy. Very quiet. He started in '85. But Rick Aguilera in '86 was 10-7. He started 19 games in '85. In '86, he started 20. He really became a reliever in '89 when he was traded. But, he saved 32, 42, 41, 34, 23, 32. 16 years, he has a 20 WAR, 3.57 ERA. He was certainly one of the top 5 relievers over his tenure. His best year was 2.4 and 91 WAR. And he was a good, he had decent control too. Strike out an inning guy. Yeah, Aguilera was good. The most incredible career was really John Smoltz, who was a starter. They made him a reliever. And then they made him a starter again. Yes, I believe he was. Frank Viola went to school with my friend at St. John's. Nice guy, Frank Viola. He used to play pickup basketball with the Harnish brothers, Pete Harnish and his brothers. They were rough. Pete Harnish and his brothers. One was a fireman. My God, they'd elbow you. Friendly game. They were very, very, very. They were crazy. Viola in '89. The Twins got Jack Savage. And he was the '87. Wasn't he the '87 MVP, the World Series? Frank Viola, I think, was the '87 World Series MVP. Yeah, they Kevin Tapani, Rick Aguilera, David West. Remember David West with the Mets? He passed away at a very young age. Big guy. He's supposed to be really a good pitcher for the Mets. Mike Krukow. Mike Krukow was a 500 pitcher in his major league career. I think he went about 25-6 or 25-7 against the Mets. He'd be a Hall of Fame pitcher if he only, hey Mets, if he Only went against the Mets. I think he was like 25-7, maybe. Kruko. ERA under 3. I remember those players back in the day. Atlee Hammaker, the Giants had. Mike Kruko. Yeah, David West passed away. Um, San Francisco had some good young pitchers. Shout out to one of my sponsors, Mateo's of Howard Beach. Amazing food. When we officially put the promo up, you'll see it. Yeah, he passed away at 58 years of age. David West. Yeah. Played for the Mets, the Twins, Red Sox, Phillies. Played in Japan, 97 or 8. I don't know how he passed away. Not sure. Ex-Rocky Mets. Brain cancer. Yeah, Mike Kruko. He was a pitcher against the Mets. He used to destroy the Mets. 13-5. You look at Lindor. Lindor, I don't know. I think Stearns wants him gone. 160 million over the next 5 years. He's practically immovable unless you pick up 15 million. So Mets are done. So so Mateo's, you'll see a promo. DraftKings will be up this week. They're putting a promo together. This way, you'll see it as a commercial. I hit my 5 millionth view on this channel. Thank you to all of you. I couldn't have done it without you. And the channel's looking up. And I owe it all to you. So to each and every one of you, salute. When I started this channel, I never dreamed that I'd have millions of views. I was begging my friends to watch the song I wrote about my son. I think I had 12 views for 8 years. And then I told a waitress about it, and I had the 13th view 8 years later. And I would do music, and you see, I do music and other stuff. Bob Finaro from The Sopranos is a friend of mine. I interviewed him. And then I said, I have to do what I'm passionate about. Because to sit here is a grind. It may seem easy, but sitting for an hour. Oh, hey, game. So, and I'm passionate about the Mets. And you know how I started doing it? I was talking about the Mets and what a terrible season they were having. And I was telling a friend in a bar, I said, in 1981, my friends would be going out. Oh, I know, game. My friends would be going out, and I'd be watching the Met game before we went out. They were terrible. Mark Bombach was their best starter. And I said, look, I'm still like that. As bad as they're doing, I still am just invested. And I said, you know what? There are people like me out there that are invested as well. That probably would like to see someone who feels like they do. And I started doing the Mets. The next shot. This guy, every time he's up, he gets hit against the Mets. Janio, I would try to trade for him before I leave this ballpark. I could tell you right now, I know we don't play to Cleveland a lot. This guy's going to kill us for 15 years, Janio. You know, let me tell you, don't. If the Mets ever went like 17-2, you want Mendoza fired again because everyone's going to blame him for not making the playoffs. If the Mets ever went 17-2, all you're going to hear is Stearns was an idiot if they would have fired Mendoza earlier. That's what you're going to hear. You're right, Game. That's all they needed. They needed to. No one runs on bench anymore. All you needed was, you play in New York, and it's like you're wearing a weighted vest. You go out there, it's like you're wearing a 30-pound weighted vest when you play in New York. And when you're not worrying about winning anymore, you took the vest off. That's what it's like. It's cumbersome. It's heavy. Look at Hedges. Bear hugs like he just won the World Series. You got 3 Mets out that are hitting 210. So, so you guys have been amazing for me. You're always here, and I thank you. I truly do. I'm doing a good show tonight. And there's a shot. See, Ewing would have broken on that ball, and it would have been a double. Please, if you can, come in tonight. It's about the band Level 42, and my sponsor's going to be watching. I actually might have my sponsor on. So it'll be cool. Level 42 was a good band from the 80s. So 1 out, runner at first. They're in love with this Curry. I don't know if she's really that like that Game. I don't know. It's funny. I don't know. I do know that there was a problem. There's a hit. And there's a run. Hey, Doc, Level 42 were terrific. Mark King, a premier slap bass player. Remember the slap bass? He was amazing. You ever hear the music for Seinfeld? Doom, da, doom, doom. That's how he played. Great slap bass player. I remember in '87, Running in the Family became a big hit, that album. Oh, we're going to do something on them tonight. So please, if it's not too late, I don't know what your schedule is. It's about 10:30 tonight. Come in. You'll enjoy it. Mark King got heavy and older. I saw some video on him. In a little while. Seth. Oh, you know what? Yeah, what the hell? I liked them. I didn't love them. Yes, I'm going to drop you the link. Someone gave me a compliment, which I didn't deserve. When Mason last night, and I had him in the other night about losing his dog, and he said, would you do a show on me? And I said, yeah, of course I will. Someone said, oh, you're very kind. That's very nice. Why am I kind? I'm a human being. He's a nice kid. He's probably going to tell all his friends, I'm going to be on a show. Not that my show's any great thing, but you know what I mean. What do you got to vent about? Don't tell me you got fired.
No, it's not that. I just got my blood results back today.
Oh,
not good.
What do you mean?
Aside from bad cholesterol being high, I have mild to moderate liver damage.
What? How high is your cholesterol?
I don't
Like
know, but
250,
I have
300?
spiked liver enzymes. That's the biggest issue.
You know what? A lot of people have higher liver enzymes, Seth. It's a fatty liver. It happens to a lot of people. It just has to be watched. That doesn't mean you're in any trouble. You just have to watch it. So that
I
got
had
you
to try
bummed
to
out.
quit all my snacks, cold turkey.
Well, yeah. Well, you're a young guy. You don't want to, 2 out.
And my
One
muscle
or-
tone is lower than it should be.
How big are you?
6 foot.
Weight?
Oh, 218.
Okay, that's not. And they feel you just have to what?
Do regular workouts for the next couple of months just to get my liver back to normal.
Oh, they feel that work. Yeah, game. Yeah, I like Kiss. I saw them about 13 years ago at the Garden. Buck Cherry opened up for them. What? So what? I'm sorry. So, but you know what? You could buy some 5-pound weights and just in the house, just walk around. Walk outside. You could do that yourself. You could tone up.
I mean, when I get the chance to, if it's not raining, I usually go out in the town on my bike.
Well, wait, muscle tone isn't imperative for healthiness, is it? Like it's nice to look good, but that's not imperative. Like you're not going to, God forbid, be ill because of muscle tone, unless there's something wrong causing the muscle tone to be bad.
Well, I don't know what it is, but maybe low protein. I don't know. I eat a lot of meat.
Hey, mister. Well, that could be the liver. Protein. You might be overloading with protein. But then again, if you're having a lot of protein, your cholesterol wouldn't be high. Protein doesn't affect cholesterol.
Then again, I don't know.
Well, you told me you're eating all this crap.
Mm-hmm. I don't like quick food, so maybe that's the issue.
Williams is suffering from a fluish stomach and tired arm. And they don't know if the tired arm was because his body's run down. He lost a couple of pounds the last few days. He hasn't been able to keep food down. He might not play tomorrow either. He's not.
Pop up, caught, Mets win.
Mets win it. 13-6. I know. I have to give you the you know what? Screw the money I make for this. I'll get the copyrights. I'll get the music strike. It's been a while. I'll turn it off now, so maybe I'll get through and they won't strike me down. So, a good win. We swept Cleveland.
First time in years since we done that, let alone beat their asses.
Seth, you got a congratulations here, Ray. Good show about Trump the other day.
That was just me going off on people who think I'm an idiot for sticking my neck out.
First of all, why would anybody think you're an idiot? I don't think you're an idiot. You're not an idiot.
There's a lot of some of my subscribers are grade A sheep who have bought in a lot of the left wing media.
Wait, a lot of your
or some of them are
what? Left wingers? You said?
Yeah, sheep
So what?
who have bought into a lot of them.
So what? Doesn't matter. You know what the key is? As long as you're not.
And I haven't. I've mostly stuck to underground reports. That
You're not a
like
sheep. That's what counts. Hey, Angry. Game, I know.
For the last 6 years, I've been going.
I'm sorry, Seth. I used to do the moonwalk in the 80s. I actually can dance. You find someone that can do a perfect spin like that with moccasins on. I'll go against anybody on here. So I was an 80s monster. So great win today for the Mets. And now you say great win. What's the difference now? They're 300 out. Yeah, but you know what? To me, you're seeing Benj rake. Lindor, I don't worry about. Lindor, he hits a home run. I don't care. Lindor's hit 300 home runs in his career. I don't care about that.
Simeon, whatever.
Yes, Simeon, right. Simeon, Simeon will go 1 for 19 now. And Beatty actually got in the game. He didn't get up. Hey, Ray. So Benj 3 for 6. Unbelievable.
I mean, at least he's
Ewing
emerging
pinched
as a
it 0 for
quality
3.
player. At least Carson Benj is emerging as a quality player.
It's interesting, too, because Benj will go cool and get down to like 255. And then Ewing will go up to like 273. Then Ewing gets cool. If you notice, they're never really cold at the same time. If you've noticed over the last month, one of them is always hitting. And now they're both in the 260s. And look, 260 for a rookie. I'm more impressed with Ewing's because Ewing wasn't supposed to be here till September. But when you're hitting 260 as a rookie, that's like 290, 280 to me. Your rookie year, you don't know pitchers. Now they don't know you either. But to me, it looks like Benj has made every adjustment. Benj went through a couple of cold streaks, remember, early on. Was totally blown away the first month. And he's made great adjustments. Don't be bummed out about your health, Seth. You know what you have to do now. You lay off the crap, right?
Right.
They didn't say you're in trouble, you're very, very ill. They said, no, your levels you got to watch it now. So now you watch it. I know you want to eat those snacks, but you don't eat them. It's more important to be here. Or you find some stuff to replace those snacks. There's a lot of stuff that tastes good that isn't bad for you. You just got to find it.
It's just that some of those health substitutes go a little overboard with the health and not enough on the taste.
I know. Yeah, Benj he was overmatched. Game.
I mean, I remember one time when my dad was in his overkill vegetarian diet, he drank noni juice.
What kind of juice?
Noni juice. It's a fruit it's a rare tropical fruit, but do not touch it. It smells horrendous and the taste is worse. It's known as the starvation fruit or the vomit fruit.
Well, the starvation, you'll never want to eat anything after it. Yeah, the sugar intake don't set. Yeah, I've done that since I was diabetic and diagnosed, and I watch it. And you get used to eating other stuff. Gerald, yeah. The White Sox fans beating the Guardians. Yeah, the White Sox are unbelievable. Like, boy, is that franchise really
turning it around this year.
They really have.
I mean, they haven't had much to celebrate since what, 2021?
Yeah, Robert, I'm sorry. Thank you for your work. I have Parkinson and you've been. Oh, Rob, you're very, very welcome. You're very welcome. And I'm sorry you have Parkinson's, but you know what? I'm not going to say sorry because you don't have to be a victim. I'm sure you're not. And you're on here. So I'm sorry you have to deal with it.
Want to dump a bucket of ice on you for him? No, wait, that's ALS. Never mind.
Don't. I lost 35 pounds. No carbs, but I'm on Manjaro for the diabetes. Robert, you know what? You're welcome to come on here anytime if you'd like to just say hi and introduce yourself. I'll drop you the link. So you let me know. And I'm so happy that I made you like baseball again. That's what this channel's about.
Grant,
it's about the community.
Grant, I've got a football game I got to call tonight.
What football game?
Hall of Fame game.
Oh, really?
Well, with football season just a month away, I got to get prepped.
Have you been practicing your calls?
I just go off muscle memory.
Yeah.
It's Carolina against Arizona tonight.
Oh, I see. Yeah, the line is 1.5 and 34.5.
in favor
Good
of
for you,
Carolina.
Rob, you let me know if you want to come in. I'll drop the link. So the Mets win today. Great game for Benj. Lindor goes yard, 3-run homer in his former hometown. McLean got out of a rough first and second inning, showed me a lot, then grooved one to their best hitter now, Lowe, and gave up a 3-run homer. But it is what it is. ERA about 3.5 for the year. And Keith Hernandez did put the whammy on him by saying how good he's been. But it is what it is. It's a game of redeeming features. It's a game where we're rooting for rookies now, and we want to see what we have. So we are, for the first time, probably watching player development as much as Andy Green, but the only difference is he's getting paid a lot to do it. But we are. Every time we watch Benj, after a 1 for 13, make adjustments and go 3 for 6. Not that he was 1 for 13. When we look at Terrence, maybe starting to come into his own now that he's getting more playing time. This guy was a terrible defensive player when he was with Seattle. That shows you. And, Seth, it's interesting. You see a guy like Terrence, who was terrible defensively, becoming one of the best defensive catchers in baseball. That's why I don't understand how Mark Vientos, put it this way, if Kai Correa couldn't get Mark Vientos to be a good fielder, if Jesus came down, he couldn't, because Kai Correa got J.D. Davis to be a good fielder. And Bichette, he had a month to work with him, and Bichette was an even fielder. I guess Vientos just doesn't have it defensively. And he did help. Beatty wasn't great, and he helped Beatty as well. Vientos just terrible footwork. He has no instincts. He's slow. Terrible. But, I'm glad you like baseball, and I'm going to be in here every day to make sure you continue to like baseball after a tough season, Rob, because that's what we do here. We all hang out with each other, and it's a little different than other baseball channels because baseball is real life, but so is Seth coming back with bad blood results. The other channels, they want to work for SNY. That's fine. That's up to them, and God bless them.
I think I'll just go to the chop box and get myself some tataki.
What are you going to get?
Tataki.
Cheer up.
At least
You weren't given a death sentence today. You were told your levels are tough. You got to start eating better.
At least I'm not going to go drinking. I don't do alcohol.
Don't do that.
I don't do alcohol that frequently anyway.
Oh, good. Good.
I mean, I am aggressive with spacing it out.
Good. Good. Good.
See you around.
Okay.
I should be back before 8 o'clock.
Okay. I'll talk to you later.
For the game.
All right, brother. I'll come in and watch your show. Everybody, shout out to Seth. Seth, don't worry. He looks very upset today. Seth, you'll be fine. We'll get you through this. Yeah, Rob, I don't know if you want to come in now. Yeah, definitely watch the show tonight. You'll like it. So the Mets, terrific game, terrific series. This is a game that they had every right to lose after they went down 2-0. And honestly, I'm a firm believer of not necessarily what's going to happen. If the Mets go down 4-0 in the first inning, they're not winning this game. I really believe that. I might be totally wrong, but I don't believe that. They would have scored 12. No. The whole game is different. If he gives up a 4 spot and you're 4-0 going at the top 2. McLean limited the damage. Now, true, this team is one of the worst offensive teams in baseball. I think either at the bottom or near it. But so are we. So McLean did what he had to do. And this game, to me, even though we gave up 5 earned and 6, pitched much better than that. Because he got out of a tough first by making some good pitches, and he was behind in the count on a couple of those and came back. And, groove one to a guy that's a good hitter, a lefty. If you remember this, I had said a while ago, McLean still has big problems with left-hand hitters. McLean is lights out against righties. He still has a big problem against lefties. His overpowering fastball is not as overpowering against lefties. It bleeds over the plate. And he's going to have to really refine his, I think it's more his spacing, his sequencing. And that's where he's going to need Torrens, not Alvarez. Because a young player, the first year or two is very imperative for them to develop. Like, look at Jonah Tong. All of a sudden, he looks very, very viable as an option. If they put him in the third inning, you would say, oh, my God, we're going to fall behind again. But I guarantee you, some of you now, I will, Robert, but some of you now probably look at Senga in the seventh or eighth and say, oh, we're going to be okay. This is a guy, if he came in the third or fourth inning, you'd say, we're going to be behind 5-0. Totally different mindset. Now, if you feel that way, what do you think he feels? He probably, I could do this. Let's see. Who's this on? Simeon.
Would you say I did this particularly well today?
Yeah, I just think I was on time today. You know, it's a big thing when you're facing Griffin is be on time because he's got a quick slide step. He's got he changes his timing. So if you can be on time, you see the ball a lot better, and that's what a lot of us did today.
13 runs, 18 hits. I mean, you just started to speak about how that's what a lot of you guys did. But what did you like?
I really am rooting for Simeon. He's a good dude.
Yeah, I mean, we just grinded a lot of at-bats out. We hit with runners in scoring position. We controlled the strike zone and kept the line moving if we didn't get anything to hit. So,
they got clear heads in Cleveland. You got one guy sweeping the grass. What are you sweeping the grass?
And there are teams that can go one of two ways after something like that. What stood out to you or has stood out to you about the way that this group has stayed with it after that moment?
Yeah, I mean, every time you show up to a big league yard, it's a blessing to be out here.
That's the key. It's a blessing. And I'm sure Robert will tell you it's a blessing to be here. Not here in my channel. That's your downfall for the day. But you know what I mean. It is a blessing to be healthy. Look at Seth's face today. And he's going to be fine. But there were so many things to worry about. But that doesn't mean we can't root and want our team to win. And that's what we do here. So what I was saying, you watch all the other Met channels. They do a great job. But they're not going to talk about Seth's cholesterol. To me, this is your channel. I just pressed the live button. Why wouldn't I address that when he looks like he's depressed? We spent 3-4 minutes on it, maybe 6 minutes. I've been on 54 minutes. I think we can give 4% of a show to ask how one of our friends are. And I think that's what separates us from a lot of the other Met shows. That we cover baseball, but we also cover how rooting for baseball may get us through a tough day. You're right. He reminds me of Freddie Peralta. He really does. He reminds me of Peralta. A little better control than Peralta. Yeah, Ray. Well, I hope you're okay too. But yeah, look, that's what we do here. And you have to remember, my goal is different. Believe me, if I were 25 and I wanted to work for the Mets and I wanted to gear this channel toward only baseball op and do it the right way, I know how to do it. I was in the business world a very long time. I did very well. I know how to do it. I'm the Steve Cohen of YouTube. This is a passion project for me. I don't need to make a living with this. For a long time, I was losing money. StreamYard was $59 a month. I wasn't even making that for years. I didn't care. This was something that I enjoyed. I knew I'd take a loss on it. Didn't matter. And you guys make it my decision all more worth it, where I say, I'm glad I stuck it out. So I don't have to look up to the corporate SNY or New York Mets and hope that they think I'm politically correct enough to work for them. Look, those guys, if I had to pay my rent and want to build a career with it, yeah, I'd probably do it too. I'm being totally serious with you. I'm a Republican. If I was in college getting my brains beat out for 4 years of how the Republicans suck by professors, and then I heard that this guy's going to give me free rent, free buses, free food, and the hell with my student loans, I probably would be that too. I'm being serious with you. I'm from a different world. Like I told you, if you went outside college and said white picket fence dream, they think it's a new Jay-Z CD. They'd have no idea what you're talking about. I am in a different world. But I try to bring enough of my expertise from my world because it's not all bad. Regardless of what politicians tell you that the Constitution sucked and it was prejudiced. No. Some of it was good. And that's what I try to bring on here. You were on Wardy last night and you nearly kicked off someone that comes on here. Why? Why did he almost kick him off? Well, Shay, I also am old enough not to be beholden to them. Now, look, if I were 23, 24, and I thought this could be a career, yeah, look, if my boss tells me don't wear bright red pants, I can't. Why would he kick him off, Ray? Why would he kick him off? But I'm fortunate that I can do what I do. No, I didn't. Red, how you doing, man? Hey, Joe. I know I didn't. Why did? Well, why would he get kicked off about that? I don't understand, Ray. Why would? Well, maybe no one knows about the MRI. It is what it is. It is what it is. But yeah, I could say what I want on here. I'm not afraid that anybody's going to say you can't do that. But don't get me wrong. I don't want to insult anybody. If I insulted someone, I would say I was sorry. I'm not looking at. Is he woke? Really? I didn't know that, Red. Why would he get pissed about that, PJ? PJ, why would he get pissed about it? Oh, maybe he thought it wasn't true. No, it's true. It's supposed to be scheduled for tomorrow. Wardy is not going to talk about things that Will Salmon haven't said is true. But I told you guys about the fight in the clubhouse, and then it came out about the wives. I told you guys 4 months ago about the baby shower. Then it came out. If I tell you something, it's real. And it's real. Oh, I'm sorry. You almost got kicked out of there. Listen, is there a 1% chance or even more that it was disinformation, that my guy told me the wrong thing? Yeah, of course. Of course. But I just tell you guys what I hear. I'm not there scheduling the appointment. But, yeah. But, no, he told me that he knows the chick that set it up for Friday, which is tomorrow. But, look, he has a right to say that. And maybe he'll be proved right. Maybe my guy was wrong. I don't know. I was just telling you what he was telling me. Well, he might think it is bullshit, PJ. He probably thought it was bullshit also. If I would have told him last month, Pete Alonso's wife, there was a baby shower that there was a problem with, and then that came out. I told you that, guys, 2 months ago. But look, Wardy, I think, is very good at what he does. Yeah, right. Oh, yeah. Well, you could tell him that, PJ. I don't think he meant to hurt you. I think he just felt it wasn't true. I don't think he should threaten to kick you out. He was berating you, though? He shouldn't have done that. He should have said, I don't think it's true. Right? If I got proven wrong, I'd say, look, guy was wrong. Really? Wow. That's interesting. I'm sorry I got you in trouble. But a guy that I trust, who told me that Soto was going on the DL before the game was over, and I told you guys, and the guy that told me that Alvarez ripped his cartilage 10 minutes after it happened, tell Wardy I'm the guy that said that stuff too. The guy that said that Soto was getting the day off the next day and Ewing was getting benched, and it happened. But I think he's a nice kid. He probably just didn't have it confirmed, and he probably, you have to remember, Wardy has a little crew that he has things confirmed with. My crew is in the clubhouse, and one of them's a pitcher. So what I hear is going to be what he doesn't hear, or what's not going to be put out there. I put it out there because I'm not working for the Mets. And if I'm wrong, I'll say I'm wrong. If my guy says, oh, shit, I was wrong. All right. Oh, I'm sorry he got pissed, though, because I feel responsible now. I didn't know that Gary Cohen got snippy with Keith. Well, Keith is older. Keith remembers when the Indians were the Indians, but why would he get snippy with him? Did he really? Oh, I'm sorry I got you involved in that. But yeah, Keith Hernandez. Well, he shouldn't be yelling at you. Does he? Well, you got to remember the media's left. That's why Bob Ojita's not working for the team anymore. Oh. He criticized the player who was friends with Charlie Kirk. I'm surprised he would do that. Well, what is what it is. Oh, PJ, don't get too upset with him. He probably walks a fine line. You have to remember, he probably walks a fine line. He doesn't know if it's not total. If he doesn't hear it confirmed, he's not going to say it. Yeah, he doesn't want to be the one to say something that might be proven not true. Gary's really is woke. I didn't know that. I think he's great at what he does. Well, he's a Jewish liberal. Hello. Gary Cohen is probably a Jewish liberal. And there are a lot of them in New York. But you know what? It is what it is. Well, the Atlanta Braves are still the Braves. Right? The Atlanta Braves are still the Braves. How come no one's going crazy about them? But, don't be too hard on Wardy. He's young and he's trying to make a career for himself. And if he didn't have it confirmed through his people, then, I can understand that. But he probably should have just told you, don't, unless it comes out, don't say this. It is what it is. Yeah, that's a good point. Chiefs are still the Chiefs. Yeah, absolutely. I didn't know, though, that Gary Cohen is liberal. I got to ask my friend. I just emailed him. We'll see. My friend said that, Vin, he's liberal. He's from Kew Gardens. He said that it's unusual to allow a player off for something like that. That's what he said. That's not terrible. I'm sure Gary Cohen is liberal. I would think he is. But you got to remember something. Gary Cohen also, Keith Hernandez used to praise Tucker Carlson. I think Keith Hernandez is a Republican. And I think he's a Republican. Yeah, Keith's a Republican, I think. But that's okay. Doesn't matter. And look, it doesn't matter what it is. Wardy is Wardy a Democrat? I'm sure. in my block posts. Hey, Jody, what does that mean? Maybe he's just, yeah, I'm sure he is. Most of the young kids are liberal. Doesn't make them bad. But no, Gary Cohen, if he's saying it's odd for a team to allow you off for that, it's a legitimate point, I think. I don't think he said, that's terrible. Why is he doing? I don't think he said that. Gary's too smart to do that. Keith will say anything. Why would it be hidden, Red? Why would the link be hidden on my side? Yeah, look, they're all that way. All the young people now, for the most part, are very in tune to what's going on with the young people. That's just the way it is. Doesn't make it right or wrong or anything like that. But I would venture to guess. Oh, I get you, Red. But don't be so hard on. Don't be too hard on Wardy. Wardy has a little group that he confirms things with. My group, one's a pitcher, one's an agent, and one works in the clubhouse. Believe me, there are things that I've been told about what went on this year in the club. I can't say it on here. I wouldn't, because I'd be betraying a trust. I will tell you that it's not that the clubhouse is fractured. There are a lot of different entities. Like, there's not a lot of closeness in that clubhouse. They all do their own thing. It's not the 86 Mets in there. Doesn't mean that they don't like each other. They just don't care either way. But, that's what I was told, that he was getting an MRI. Maybe a lot of people don't know it. I don't know. And hopefully he's fine. I think they were doing it to put his rest, to put his fears aside. Max's channel? No. What is it? I would definitely check it out. So the Mets win. Good win. Nolan McClain now 8-7, 3.5 ERA, 94 pitches. If you notice something, Andy Green is pushing his pitchers. That I noticed. If Mendoza was in, he would have been pulled. He let Christian Scott the other day work out some of his problems. He's pushing his pitchers. He wants them to go further. It's not so much he wants them to go further to save the bullpen. He wants the pitchers to learn you don't learn how to deal with adversity by being bailed out by mommy. You learn how to deal with adversity by dealing with adversity. In high school, safe spaces, when you go la, 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 when there's a problem, that's not getting you ready for a problem. You're running from the problem. So when there's a problem, figure it out, Nolan. Figure it out. Oh, Max Goodman. Yeah, I know of him. Yeah, very good. PJ, that was always. The Latins always separated themselves. That's since the beginning of time in baseball. You got to remember, back in 40 years ago, there weren't a lot of Latins in baseball. Think about it. Every club had one. Now, to be a manager, you pretty much have to be bilingual. Most of the managers are bilingual. But you know what? A good win. We did what we had to do. We built the kids' confidence. We built Senga's confidence today with another. Now, Senga's out till Sunday probably. But we, look, Senga looks good. Thank you, Ray. I appreciate that. I appreciate it. No, I will always tell you the truth. And if I'm wrong, I'll tell you I'm wrong. But, you know, there are things that I've said that have come true a day before everybody reported it. Right? They didn't report that Alvarez tore his cartilage, was going to be out 4 to 6 weeks. I did 10 minutes after it happened. And that doesn't make me a big shot. Their channels are much bigger than mine. I don't have to kiss anybody's ass to be on here. Have a great night, everybody. I will see you tomorrow. I will be on the post game late tomorrow. It's going to be like 3 hours after the game because I have tickets to something. But you guys, they do look relaxed, Andrew. Ray, that's all I can do at this point. I'm 64 years old. That's all I can do. But don't be too hard on Wardy. You know, Wardy is trying to build a career, and he doesn't want to say anything that might not be true. Can't blame him for that. So I will see you. Thank you, Andrew. Try to come in tonight at 10:30. It's going to be a good one. See you later. Let's go, Mets.